Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and, well, this is it. Okay, not really. Dang it, couldn't they have aired the Christmas special this week or next week? Yes, I still would have complained about the date, but December 1st still misses Christmas by over 3 weeks, and at the very least, I wouldn't have had to put an asterisk on the finality of everything. So, with one last, yes, there's a Christmas special still coming, disclaimer aside, this is it. The story of Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel is, mercifully for people like myself, finally coming to an end. Could this show apply itself, focus, give its very best effort, and finally give us its first and only 5 out of 5? Or were we in for the same disappointing results like all the other episodes that came before it? Well, let's find out by taking a look at the 20th episode of Super Ninja Steel, the story finale, Reaching the Nexus. And right off the bat, we're inconsistent, as last week we had Brody saying last time on Power Rangers, but this time we have the narrator recapping the plot of the previous episode. It's actually fantastic though, because he describes the drama between Calvin and Haley and then says, "They broke up," in such a dramatic tone that instead just came off absolutely hilarious. Things pick up exactly where they left off last week as Badana marches humans out of the school to teleport them to the ship. Meanwhile, Odious finally remembers that there was something about a Nexus prism and power stars, and orders Mick to lead her to their base. Brody says the team needs to split up, with the girls going after the humans, while the boys head to the base. Haley is distracted because she still can't reach Calvin, but Preston tells her that she needs to focus. By the by, she's trying to call Calvin on his cell phone. This has become a Power Rangers matter now. Why isn't she using her communicator? I kind of understand it from a story perspective. It would give away that Calvin was a Ranger. They didn't necessarily want that to happen. But I think Badana already knows that Calvin is a Power Ranger and she's going to see him teleport up to the ship. It's by far not the biggest detail this episode's going to miss. Preston then calls Redbot and tells him to get the Super Ninja Steel, so I guess there's a good amount of it left this time, and to get out of the base. He tries, but Odious arrives first, blasting him back and damaging him. Odious orders Mick to fire up the forge, saying they're gonna make something special. The girls find Badana in something of a staging area, teleporting humans up to the Warrior Dome one group at a time. This actually gives me an opportunity to talk about something I saw people mentioning on Twitter last week, about this plan of Odious's to use the entire human race as a cannon fodder army. Where was she planning on keeping them all? The Warrior Dome is one ship, even if it has a big arena inside of it. I doubt that it could hold the population of Summer Cove, let alone Earth. Haley spots Calvin amongst the brainwashed humans. The girls know that they have to save him, but Sara says that they shouldn't go to the Warrior Dome without having a plan. So, of course, Haley has already leapt in without thinking, although maybe that's not quite true, because she doesn't start just attacking everyone, but just gets into a group and starts marching in place, pretending to be brainwashed as well. Sara joins her, and the two are teleported up to the ship. They then break from their group and sneak off. The guys are also sneaking, getting past some Kudabots and heading through the tire tunnel into the base. They peek through the fan entrance and see Mick giving a new star to Madame Odious. One that looks remarkably like the Nexus star from the very first episode. The girls then call the boys, setting off Preston's communicator and giving them away to Madame Odious. She blasts the door, but her plan is not ready yet, so she then leaves, taking the prism with her. Would it be unhelpful to point out at this point that the prism can fly and move and seems to be sentient and didn't need to just go along with this? Anyway. Redbot's damage was apparently the self-fixing type, so he's fine, and Preston answers the girls' call and they explain the situation about being on the ship. Redbot tells the girls that the mind control signal is being broadcast by a network of satellites, and if they can destroy that network, then the mind control signal will be broken. Destroy an entire network of satellites? That's going to take some time, isn't it? Well, you'll see. Oh, and by the way, the girls can't morph because the suit actors are on holiday. I mean, the Warrior Dome has sensors that will detect them if they morph. The girls run past the main stage where they see Victor and Monty still scurrying for their lives. We stick with the two of them, another location transition for you, as they run off the stage and tell Cosmo that they just can't keep this up. He agrees to switch things up, telling them to just do some simple juggling. Oh, and by the way, those are bombs you're juggling, and if you drop one, they'll explode. Have fun! The girls eventually manage to find the satellite platform we saw before because someone very helpfully plastered this satellite clip art onto the door. The episode really doesn't make this clear, at least as far as I could tell. I will say that I was watching live this week, so I may have missed something, but it's far more likely that the episode just didn't make it clear, so I'll go ahead and make this clear. Sara tells Haley to go and deal with the satellite while she handles the Kudabots. As she kicks their butts from here to over there, one of them manages to hit an alarm. This draws the guards off of the main stage, and Victor and Monty realize that they are now unsupervised. They let the bombs fall into their pants because clowns, and they leave. Odious uses her purple Kool-Aid beam to once again take control of the Ninja Nexus Prism, just like in the first episode of this season. And then she drops a line that I'm sure a lot of people are going to criticize when they talk about this episode, and I'm no exception. This hasn't just been her plan for the 2 years of Ninja Steel, but for 1,000 years, this has been her plan the whole 1,000 years of time, to raise an army and take the Ninja Nexus Prism. She tells Mick to toss in the Nexus Superstar. Brody, who is listening nearby along with Levi and Preston, remembers the original Nexus Star and how it made his dad a Power Ranger. Levi reasons that if this Nexus Star is made of super steel, then it could be even stronger.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Oh, hey! Speaking of Dane, he makes his requisite finale appearance. But this time, he's got a long, sharp sword, and he's pointing it right at his two boys. That's right, he's caught the red-eyed mindbuggery as well.
For dry, red eyes, clear eyes is awesome.
He attacks them, and Brody clearly shows that he doesn't really know any stories about mind control, as he tries to talk his father out of it. Earth's greatest ninja is just too much for these guys, yeah, Preston included, by the way. And they won't morph for some reason. Yes, I get that Dane is a human, but he's clearly stronger than them and under mind control. They could still morph and just restrain him. Besides, when has this team ever cared about escalating a battle? Meanwhile, Haley finds the satellite control, but before she can do anything, Calvin, of course, comes to stop her, nearly throwing her off the platform. She just manages to hang on and begs him to stop, but of course he won't. Then she pulls her rivet rifle and points it directly at him. This was actually a tense moment. Of course, she instead blasts the satellite, destroying it and freeing Calvin. Alright, one down. Probably just another 5 or 6 to go in this network of satellites, and no, wait, okay, that's it. The beam is stopped and everyone is freed. Yeah, I'm going to take a second to talk about this now. This is something I could have mentioned last week, but I didn't, and some other people did point out. Odious kept talking about how her plan involved enslaving the entire human race, broadcasting the signal across the entire planet, but we only ever saw the satellite signal hit Summer Cove. Clearly, there was not a network of satellites, there was just this one that was not hitting the entire Earth, just one city on it. Ah, Ninja Steel. The only consistent thing about it has been inconsistent writing, from Return of the Prism to Reaching the Nexus. And the Poisey show too, of course, I'm sure. We see everyone important get freed from the mind control last, because you may not have known this, but mind control strength works in inverse proportion to plot importance. Dane is freed just about as he's going to put some sharp steel through Brody's glib one-liner spouting face. Mick is also freed, freaking out about all the bad guys and running away. Brody tells Odious to give it up, she's outnumbered now. However, the Prism is still on her side, spitting out the Nexus superstar, and Odious starts melding with it. Wow. Not only is this a tense and dramatic moment, it actually very nicely mirrors the very start of the show in the first episode, when Galvanax was melding with the original Nexus star, and Dane jumped up to destroy that star to stop him. Is Brody going to do the same thing? Well, wait and see, because it's time to address the romance drama. Calvin is freed from the mind control, pulling Haley up from the ledge. Haley apologizes all over herself for breaking up with him, saying his honesty is one of the things she loves about him, because she really can't figure out what's on that list from a week-to-week basis, and can't just say that she loves him. Calvin apologizes too, and I was just about ready to give the episode the slightest little sliver of credit for that, when he apologizes for being too honest and not taking her feelings into account, instead of constantly being late and forgetting things. You know, I can't even bring myself to actually say it again. The plot line is reused from last week, so I'm just going to use a clip from last week myself. Calvin never criticized her performance. He said that the scene was not the best choice for a TV audition. The two of them get back together, and I literally could not care less. Meanwhile, while the two of them are probably making out or something, Sara has run out of gas and is now getting beaten up by the Kudabots when she gets to have a nice little Spider-Man moment as the regular people on the ship are freed from the mind control and come and save her from the Kudabots. Victor and Monty then show up, not getting to fight anyone, just weakly walking in and whining about how they want to go home. But the Rangers know exactly how to motivate them to save the people on the ship. They say that they need someone heroic and brave to help teleport these people back to Earth. Someone just like the Power Rangers. But gosh darn it, the Rangers aren't here, and Victor and Monty just eat this up, Monty saying he's sure he can figure out their teleporter system and ushering the people away to do so. I don't really get why the Rangers couldn't have handled this themselves. I mean, story-wise, I get they immediately need to teleport down for the battle with Odious, but I don't really understand why they couldn't have just teleported the people first. When wilt thou save the people? They do teleport down to that battle scene, and the team is reunited as Odious continues merging with the Nexus superstar. Brody is apparently not as brave or smart as his father, as he doesn't leap up to stop this, but instead he and everyone else just stand there and let her successfully merge with the Nexus superstar, becoming whatever the heck that thing is. Fire! Brody tells Dane and Mick to get out of there, and since they don't get to be Rangers this time, they readily agree and leave. The Rangers morph for what I presume is the last time, Christmas blah 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 blah. But in a nice twist, before that, Sara actually gets the badass one-liner instead of Brody. As would be expected when a villain takes on a new form, Odious blasts the crud out of the Ninja Steel Rangers, and they do the one thing that they may just be best at. Run away! Run away! Run away! Well, this is a finale, so it's time to start tying up some loose ends. If by tying them up you mean chopping them off and perhaps burning them as well. Victor and Monty finish teleporting the last humans off of the ship when they are confronted by Cosmo and Badana. So, they take the bombs out of their pants, and that's definitely not a sentence I imagined I'd say when I got out of bed this morning, throw them at the two, and teleport away last second. Cosmo and Badana are destroyed, and the ship is blasted away.
That was easy.
The Rangers hide, number 2 on the list of things that they're best at, and try to come up with a plan. They more just talk about their situation. They realize that the original Nexus star is what their 6 power stars formed out of. That gives Preston an idea. He tells the Rangers to hold up their power stars and uses friggin' magic on them. They combine, I guess, and then the power is split between each of the 6 Rangers. Fantastic! Now they each have 1/6 of the power of the Nexus star, as opposed to before where they each had one power star that represented 1/6 of the power of the Nexus star.
Man's practicing fuzzy math again.
Nah, math is for losers and totally isn't epic. This somehow gives each Ranger the total power of a Nexus star, and seeing as their power stars were now made of super steel, puts each of the Rangers right back on equal footing with Madame Odious. They have an absurdly short fight, finally just combining all of their blades and getting into a beam war with Odious, then leaping up to do a finishing Nexus strike, Brody slicing through last, and Madame Odious is destroyed. And in fitting fashion, with both Galaxy Warriors and Super Ninja Steel coming to an end, Brody says the famous catchphrase that he's been saying these past 2 years. Game over, ninjas win.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
Back at the school, we do get a nice moment, as however selfish their motivations may have been, Victor and Monty saved potentially hundreds of people, and they are honored with a trophy for their heroism. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Victor Vincent has finally won his 50th trophy. And the really nice thing about this is there's no stupid slapstick comedy. They don't drop the trophy on their feet, the stage doesn't collapse underneath them, they just finally get to win. I wouldn't necessarily say that their characters have earned it, but it was just a nice moment. Now it's time to say goodbye. The girls tell Mick and Redbot that they'll miss them, and all of the Rangers really talk about what they've learned from the two and how they hope to see each other again someday. Mick has them all hug it out, hug it out, hug it out, and then reveals to them that he's not actually leaving. No, he loves his job as a shop teacher, and there is still work to do. The Rangers have exams they need to study for, and ninja training never ends. The Rangers walk off, and life goes on. One of the themes of this episode was about 6 stars becoming 1. And as you're about to see, that's pretty fitting. Let's throw it. Episode 20, Finale, Reaching the Nexus. Pros, Victor and Monty had a satisfying wrap-up, and I guess Haley had a couple of nice moments. Cons, the most anticlimactic finale I've ever seen, a magical Deus Ex Machina that doesn't connect with the show, and just far too rushed. Super Ninja Steel, I will give you this much. A finale should be a final episode that encompasses everything that your show has been, and in that one regard, you delivered in spades. Reaching the Nexus gets a 1 out of 5.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You lose! Good day, sir!
When I am sitting at my computer, racking my brain, trying to come up with some other positive for an episode besides Victor and freaking Monty, you know that this episode has failed. But I have to give it what little tiny bits of credit it actually deserves. Victor and Monty got a very nice, satisfying conclusion. We got to see them not played for cheap laughs this time. We saw them exhausted and scared. We saw them motivated to be heroes, even if selfishly. We saw them have a big hero moment, stupid as it was, and then they were rewarded for it. At least the two of them got a nice conclusion. And this goes beyond stretching to find something else to praise. It's more like bending over backwards. But Haley did get a couple of cool moments this week. The first was leaping in without thinking to go and rescue Calvin. Now, it is stained because it was very clearly motivated by her desire to apologize when she had absolutely no need to apologize. But it was very brave and motivated theoretically by love, so that's cool. The other was on the satellite platform when she was confronted by the mind-controlled Calvin, and she pulls out her rivet rifle and points it directly at him, saying that she doesn't want to hurt him. I actually kind of wish they'd held the tension a couple of moments longer there. You wonder if she's going to shoot him, but then she just immediately shoots the satellite instead. I would have preferred to have it where she fired and Calvin stands there for a second in shock before we slowly pan over to the left and see that she blasted the satellite instead. But for that one incredibly brief moment that they held it, it was some nice tension.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Everything about this episode was just rushed and anticlimactic, especially for a finale. It's just a series of things that happen that have no through line or drama. Odious succeeds in fulfilling her plan, which only just now involves the Prism and, for the record, never involved the Power Stars. The Rangers go and save the people, blow up the satellite, Victor and Monty blow up the ship itself, Preston does some stupid magic, and then the Rangers just win. I'm pretty sure there have been Monster of the Week fights on this series that have lasted longer and were tougher for the Rangers than this final battle with Odious. In fact, I'm pretty sure their fight last week with Gorox was longer and tougher. A Monster of the Week that was literally pointless besides burning up Sentai footage. They tried to have it be dramatic, Odious blasting the Rangers away and them running and hiding. But ironically enough, since the Sentai Ninjas tagline was ninjas that don't hide, as I said, running and hiding are two of the things that this team is best at, so it was no different from the norm. And oh, Zordon's blessed energy tube, the stupid magical fix-it at the end. Throughout this series, people have complained that Prestons Magic has been a forced tribute in this story, something that was just pressed into it to explain a little tiny bit of Sentai footage and to give Preston his main informed character attribute. Nowhere was that more clear than here, when Preston just suddenly goes, oh yeah, I can do a kind of little magical doodad spell that will make each of us 6 times more powerful.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
There's zero setup for this. We don't see Preston trying to learn the spell, get the sense that the spell is dangerous, that maybe if he doesn't get it just right, they'll lose all their powers instead, and then they're really screwed. It's just, oh, hey, we need to combine the power of all our stars? There's a spell for that. And that was really the slogan of this episode, come to think of it. Reaching the Nexus. That was easy. It was easy for Odious to accomplish her plan, and it was easy for the Rangers to defeat her. There's just no setup. This story needed a lot more time. At least one more episode to flesh it out. And please do not start with "you only get 20 episodes" garbage. Even Super Mega Force's finale didn't feel this rushed and all of a sudden. And you could have just easily tossed out one of Super Ninja Steel's garbage filler plots and given us a little bit more setup. So, this is how it ends, heroes. Super Ninja Steel limps to the finish line, and perhaps befitting a season based on ninjas, falls on its own sword. This finale was a beautiful picture of the failings of this show, and representative of why Ninja Steel will be remembered alongside, and perhaps even below, seasons like Turbo, Operation Overdrive, and Super Mega Force. Wow, at this point the script was only 6.5 pages long. This episode was so bad I didn't even really have all that much to say about it. Well, that does give me some room to explain the following. As I've mentioned, we do unfortunately have one more episode of Super Ninja Steel to go, its holiday special on December 1st. So in my mind, the Super Ninja Steel off-season has not begun just yet. I think next week I'm going to just go ahead and get my summary thoughts on Ninja Steel out of the way, because I really don't see the Christmas special having that big of an impact on them. But for the 2 weeks after that, I think I'm just going to release my normal other videos, either doing a second comic review, or a second vlog, or maybe 1 week one and 1 week the other, just really based on what I can get done. Finally, I wanted to take a second to thank you heroes for suffering through these seasons alongside me. Ninja Steel has really been a test, and I don't say that to be comedically overdramatic. I mean it, it really has. Ninja Steel has been boring when it hasn't been terrible, and as a result, I've had to grow as a writer in covering it. Lots of you heroes have told me, both in the comments of these videos as well as in person at the recent Power Morphicon, that I've grown a lot funnier as a writer, and that comedy has helped make going through this season bearable. I've started working in cutaway gags, a la Linkara.
No, 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 no.
And hopefully that's increased the comedy value of these reviews as well. Your encouragement of me as a reviewer and telling me that my reviews are helping you get through this show as a whole, even though you hate it, that really means a lot to me. So next time I'll be giving you my final overall thoughts on Power Rangers Ninja Steel. I'm pretty sure the words dumpster and fire will be featured prominently within. But 3 weeks from now, Super Ninja Steel makes one last gasp before giving up the ghost. Let's take a peek at the 22nd and actually final episode of Super Ninja Steel, The Poisey Show. The Rangers look to celebrate Christmas, but find their holiday cheer interrupted by an old foe. An old foe? Did Cosmo or Badana actually survive? Yeah, spoilers, it may not be someone that the Ninja Steel Rangers consider to be an old foe. But for now, that's going to do it for another Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Make sure to like the video by clicking that thumbs up button right down below. In the comments below, what did you think of Super Ninja Steel's finale? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did it make you yearn for the sweet, sweet day in the near future the Beast Morphers premieres? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos and ring the bell. Get your notifications set up so you get notified of whenever I post brand new videos, just like these Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel episode reviews. An additional disclaimer there, something I picked up from Bruno and Mia of MMPR Toys. If you are watching me on mobile, please also make sure that your mobile settings are set up to allow notifications. If you have YouTube set up to notify you when people post new videos, but your mobile settings are not set up to allow notifications, you're not going to get any notifications, so go do that stuff I just said. And if you'd like to toss a little financial support towards my channel, there are now 2 ways that you can do so. The first is going to digitaltipjar.com/orangerangervid. Like always, toss your change in the jar. Second, while I was recording this video, I decided to go ahead and set up a Ko-fi account to give some people different options in supporting my channel financially. I do mean what I say, that I decided that while I was recording this video, so I don't even know what the link is going to be to that yet, but it's going to be that link right there that I'm pointing at right now. So head to that link. I'll also put it down in the video description. And if you can't figure out what it is, you can just ask me in the comments or something and I will point you right at it. Another little way, you can buy me a coffee. I like coffee, and just help support the channel financially. Until next time, heroes, when I sum up this dumpster fire of a seasons as a whole, may the power protect you. And at the very least, I wouldn't have to put an ad. So, with one last, yes, there's a Christmas episode special. Or would this just be another example like all the other... That didn't come out right. Finally. This actually gives me a good opportunity to point out I saw some people... The girls eventually managed to find the satellite platform we saw before because someone... At least as far as I was watching. I did watch live this time, so I might have missed something. But it's more likely that I just need to do this take again. I can't even mode instead of for constantly being late and forgetting things. I can't even motivate. Well, great. They now each have 1/6 of the power of the Nexus star, which as farts. When Odious succeeds in fulfilling her plan, which for the record involved itching a foot and not knowing what the take says. Odious succeeds in her plan, which for the record only in running and hiding, as I just said, are some of the fun. And oh, Zordon's magical energy tube. Yeah. Odious's plan was easy for her to get the lemna. It really has. Ninja Steel as a whole, both seasons. But 3 weeks from now, Ninja Steel Super Ninja Dega Ninja Super Ninja Ninja. Let's take a look at the 20 sets. Take a peek. Let's take a peek. Let's take a Pikachu. Like the video by clicking that thumb. I mean that I haven't decided what. And if you play, wow.